Hello everyone, welcome to our Timeless Sunset Tarot. Now, this is a general reading and it is open to all zodiac signs. So just take what resonates with you. At the same time, it is also timeless. So anytime you find yourself watching this video, there might be a message here for you. Let us try to see what is the main energy at the end of the day. Okay, we have here the Five of Cups. Maybe something happened recently that has caused a strain in some of your relationships. There might have been a conflict or maybe an argument that at this time you might have resented it. But something new is being offered to you by the universe at this time. Maybe at this moment, the relationship might have been strained at this time, but whatever happened, it's already water under the bridge. You cannot undo it anymore. It happens sometimes in a certain relationship where because every relationship is a learning process and we don't always make the right moves. Sometimes we commit mistakes along the way. And when we commit mistakes, after a certain period of time, we regret some of the things that we do. But we cannot undo it anymore. It is already something that has already happened. The best thing that we can do is to learn from that situation and to move on. Now, these new cups that are being offered to you might be new opportunities to rebuild whatever this relationship that was sort of affected. You know how it is sometimes when we have misunderstandings, we have some arguments, and then afterwards, after that arguments or misunderstandings, sometimes we even raise voice against each other. We regret having done that, but the challenge there is, are we still willing to continue with the relationship? Is it something that we feel we can still rebuild? If we can still rebuild it because we value the relationship, then yes, maybe the new cup that is being offered is an extended hand towards reconciliation, or an opportunity for you to extend a hand of reconciliation. So, but what has happened is already done and you cannot undo it anymore. But there's always an opportunity to rebuild a relationship that has been broken, and it can be the new cup that is being offered. Now, it can be that way. Now, it can be also that the relationship that is causing you pain right now is something that maybe is no longer really beneficial for us. So for some of us, it can be only a situation that can be you cannot undo anymore, but you can begin again and reconstruct the relationship. Or it can be also a relationship that you realize is no longer beneficial for you and you really need to move on to other relationships. So you try to see which of these resonates with you at this time. Is it just an argument in a relationship and now the universe is offering you a new chance to rebuild that relationship? Or is it a relationship that you realize is no longer beneficial for you and you need to let it go and begin other or newer relationships? So you try to see how this resonates with you. At this moment, there is that moment of regret. For some of you, there is that moment of pain. Well, if this is the energy that you have right now, maybe you need some time to pause, maybe even distance yourself from the situation for a while. And maybe for some of you, you will need to sleep it over. It's the end of the day, or anyway, maybe you need to just let it go for a while. There are certain situations when we try to solve them, the worse they get, especially when you are already tired, especially when you have difficulty already being objective in the situation, when you find yourself in such a situation, maybe the best approach right now is to just let it go and let the situation solve itself. Maybe you need to give it some time. Take a pause, and maybe after you are able to rest, after you are able to detach yourself after a certain period of time, you might be able to look at the situation more objectively and be able to make a better decision whether you would try to rebuild the broken relationship or really let it go and open yourself to other possibilities. Now let's try to see how this will further unfold. Well, I think this is the time for you to really spend more time alone and nurture yourself. We have here the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is somebody who is very much in touch with the divine. And when you look at the Ace of Cups, the cup is alone. There are no cups around it, and the cup is being filled up by the bird and the sacred host. So, because of the presence of the divine, the cup starts to overflow. So, I feel right now the best way for you is to spend more time alone, nurture yourself, be in touch with the divine, allow the divine to heal you at this moment. As you spend more time alone and allow yourself to be healed by the divine, sooner or later your cup will overflow, and it will affect not only you but also everyone around you. So if you are able to detach yourself right now, which I feel is very important right now, especially if you are hurting, you allow yourself to heal for a while, and maybe because of that you will be able to reach out with love to others in the future or a little later. And if it is a relationship that you feel you should continue, then maybe you will be able to heal whatever was broken in the relationship, or maybe it's time for you will be able to have a better outlook and to see if it's really time for you to let go of the relationship, especially if it's no longer beneficial to you, and reach out to people also who will love you. But at this time, I feel that your cup needs to be filled up by the presence of the divine, and also maybe you need some time to heal. Let's try to see what is the advice of the universe for us. Well, we have here the Seven of Swords. When I look at this card right now, what I feel is, let's try to remove all our weapons, all our swords. Maybe what comes to me right now is, let's avoid the blaming game. Let's not continue the argument. Let's throw away the swords, bury the hatchet. You see here, there are two swords here that are buried in the ground. It's like not to dwell anymore on whatever argument has transpired in the past. Bury the hatchet, remove the swords. So do not discuss anymore, like argue anymore, avoid the argument anymore. Try to look at each other to try to avoid arguing anymore at this time. Spend more time nurturing yourself. Spend more time maybe also detaching yourself from the situation for a while. Maybe this is not the time for you to reason out, not the time for you to justify things on both sides, whether on your side or the side of the other person. Maybe it's at this time the best thing that you can do is not to discuss the situation for now, just to let it go for now, and be open for future dialogue. You see here, this person is disarming the enemies and trying to remove all those things that could cause hurt between both parties. So it's you also not wanting to hurt the other party any further, and at the same time also you also have good boundaries, not allowing yourself to be hurt also by them. So it's like, burying the hatchet, letting it go, not caring anymore who will win, and somehow trying to open yourself to the road towards peace and maybe reconciliation. Or if you know how it is, even if you decide that you need to let go of the relationship, you somehow try to let it go without any hurt feelings or something. You try to see how this resonates with you. Now, for some of you, you might need to walk away. Okay. So we have here the Eight of Cups. But you see here, the person in the Eight of Cups walks away, but with all the cups in order. So, if you need to let go, maybe there will be some distance between you and the person because somehow you need to move on already. But in a certain sense, you leave with things in order. The pain might still be there, but there's no grudges between you and the person. Or if the person still has grudges towards you, you leave without you bringing any grudges or having any grudges with the person that you have decided to walk away from. So for some of you, there might be a need for you to really walk away from the situation because that situation is no longer helpful to you, but you live with the affairs well in order. So yeah, it's like burying the hatchet. You just realize that it's just part of life and you accept it as part of your life history. You see here, one cup is missing in the pile of the eight cups here. One is missing in between the three cups above. There is an empty space. It can be that you are taking with you something. I feel that cup you are taking with you, it cannot be seen by this person, but it's possible that the missing cup is being taken by the person who is walking away. It can symbolize, for me right now, it can symbolize the lessons you've learned from that experience. You get things in order before you leave, and now you take with you the lessons you've learned, and then you move on to a new chapter. So this is what we can see for our Sunset Tarot. Let us now go to the second part, which is Insights at Twilight. For our Insights at Twilight, the message comes from C.S. Lewis, C.S. Lewis. And the message is, you cannot go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. When we try to relate it to the tarot reading for today, for this setting of the sun, you can see here there were some spilled cup in the Five of Cups, and these are already spilled milk. You cannot change them anymore, so you cannot go back anymore and change what has already happened. We cannot go back anymore and change the beginning, but we can start from where we are right now. So it's like saying, I know I cannot change anymore, what's done is done, but I can begin again. So you can start where you are and change the ending. I can begin again, and taking the lessons I've learned from the spilled cups, I can change the direction that I am going now. I can begin again. There is that sense of sorrow, that sense of wanting to say, I'm sorry, I wish I can change it. The best thing that we can do is to begin again. Learn from it, and with the lessons, we try to create a better future. We take the lessons with us, and with these lessons, we can change the future and avoid the same mistakes in the future. So right now, the best thing that we can do is, yes, accept it as part of our life's experience, and from that on, we choose to begin again. We learn the lessons, and at the same time, when something has happened such as this, there's a need for us to take a pause, allow ourselves to be healed by the universe or by the divine, and somehow this can be symbolized by the Ace of Cups, to bury the hatchet, no longer dwell on the conflict, let go of the conflict, and if there's a need to peacefully walk away, then do so. The Eight of Cups can symbolize not only leaving behind a situation, but moving forward through life. It's like moving on, not to dwell on the past, but to take the cup that we've learned, the lessons we've learned, and to move forward towards the future, to again continue on our life's journey. So this is what we have for our insights at twilight. I hope that it is helping you right now in your present life situation. Thank you for the likes and comments you've given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you again soon. Until that time, may God continue to bless your ways.